We are so back. Back in February, we ran the Tallahassee Marathon and PR'd with a time of 3 hours and 9 minutes. But it's not a happy story because I put it all on the line. It jacked me up for the next 8 weeks. I was running, injured until it got to the point where I couldn't even run. And so I was biking and doing physical therapy every single day, not knowing if I was ever gonna be able to run again. And these last few weeks, I've been running again. Things looked great. And now, perfect timing, we are 20 weeks out from the Chicago Marathon where we're gonna shoot for a sub 3 hour marathon. So all of this is coming together. My B race of the year, nailing my time, getting injured but recovering right before prep starts. And now we're in the first week of our 20-week prep for Chicago Marathon. And so in today's video, I'm gonna talk to you what that prep's gonna look like. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video. First run back with a little oomph in it in a month and a half, 2 months. Pretty stoked. Such a different feeling than just getting out there. This AM's workout consisted of 5.5 miles total, with 2 of it being warm up, and then 6 sets of 2 minutes, steady / hard. No pace in mind, just feeling, pushing myself, getting those gears turning for the first time in a while, making sure I still got some of it, and then 2 minute recover, repeat 6 times. And then I think I did like a 3/4 mile cool down after that, but that felt great. One of 19 or probably more, really like 17 more. Well, actually no, because some weeks I'm gonna do 2, so probably like one of the last 20 more to go speed workouts. Soak it in, because that could have been a lot harder. Look at that vitamin D coming through my eyes. My boat. No, I'm kidding, it's not my boat. But there is more to marathon prep than just the running. 2 other big things that you really need to focus on. And the first one is your weight training. We just wrapped up a sesh on this beautiful day. Pretty light core, some PT work. But over these next 20 weeks, our lifting's gonna look a little bit different phase to phase. Right now in phase 1, we are not beating ourselves down too much. We have a lot of energy outside of running, but we're gonna try to lift 3 to 4 times a week. 4 if we're really feeling good, but definitely gonna hit 3. And out of those 3 to 4 sessions, we're gonna have 2 upper body and either 1 or 2 lower body sessions. Now, when I'm switching up this prep is they're not gonna be heavy back squats, deadlifts. They're not gonna be tearing me up, these lower body sessions. They're gonna be a little bit more strategic, a little bit more physical therapy type work, working on my hip muscles, the glutes, not pushing to failure, but pushing to keep everything together and strong. Now, this is gonna remain the same all the way until we get to the marathon specificity phase. That is when we're hitting our 75 miles a week. We are gonna be tired. We are gonna be deep into a prep. We're only gonna be lifting once to twice a week, 1 upper body, and then the second one will be physical therapy. So really, no gains will be made. But I wanna include that every single day I am stretching. So the physical therapy work doesn't just include stretching, because I'm doing that every day. Physical therapy work is lifting actual weights. So that's the plan. 3 to 4 times a week in the first couple phases, and then when things get deep, we're gonna strip it down to 1 or 2, and then taper week, we will have 0. And then we'll start worrying about putting more muscle on. But for right now, 4 days a week. One thing that I am gonna miss about prep starting is having the energy to go for little walks. Because when you're deep in it and you're running 70 plus miles, you don't need more steps. What you need is more rest. And I really appreciate the calmness of going on a walk. So I'm soaking in the last few of them that I probably will do. But to get on to my third piece of the 3 important things for marathon prep, you have the actual running, you have the lifting, and of course you have the recovery, but that's sleep, whatever. And third is the diet. So before this prep, I had lost about 13 pounds on purpose, cutting out a bunch of carbs because I wasn't running as much and because I wanted to be lighter, because it's easier to run faster and further when you're carrying less weight. So I was trimming down the calories, but now, maybe not right now, but as the weeks progress, I'm gonna introduce more and more carbs because my focus changes from losing weight, losing fat, to recovering and fueling for those big workouts. We're gonna eventually start introducing food to our runs, you know, the gel packets. Sometimes I like to do like dates or something. We're gonna have more carbs with breakfast. We've just been doing eggs and yogurts. We're gonna have more rice at dinner because it only takes you a few times to run underfueled to never want to run underfueled again. So what often happens is people will get into marathon running and long distance running thinking it'll be a great way to lose weight, and then you end up going through that 16 to 22 weeks of training and actually either stay the same or end up gaining weight. Now, it's not fat, but that scale doesn't ever change, and you're thinking, well, how is that happening? I'm burning so many more calories. Because you got to fuel yourself, man. And so my mind and my plan is transitioning from cutting weight to now performance, adding carbohydrates, having topped off glycogen storages, as they say. Now, there is one thing that I will say, and it's that this is the most amount of energy and excitement I've ever had coming into any marathon prep. Before this prep started was the longest I've gone without running since I don't even know, maybe 5 years. It was very tough to get through, and I was a little bit dramatic, but thinking, am I ever gonna be able to run again? I was in so much pain. Now, time will tell if this is gonna be in my favor, because normally I'm coming into prep already in decent shape. And not that I let the wheels fall off completely. I was still doing bikes, but I just wasn't running. And maybe I won't hit my time at the end of this because I did not come into prep in the greatest shape, but also it could be my greatest performance yet because I'm coming into prep with so much more focus, way more dialed in, way more excitement to do these runs, where in the past, each run, especially towards the end, just became such a big task. And I'm hoping that this excitement can carry on in because I'm fired up to be running again. I don't even care about the marathon right now. I'm just excited to be running again. And one thing I'm gonna put out there, I'm excited. This is our first long run of the prep. 9 miles, how crazy is that? 9 miles. We are back, baby. So back. Woo. So we've got our running plan, our lifting plan, our diet, but there's one last thing that I forgot to mention, and it might even be the most important part of this entire prep, and that is recovery. My previous preps, I did 0 warm-ups and I did 0 stretching. And this prep, that is going to change. I've always been good at getting my sleep. The diet is a part of recovery. Lifting is part of the recovery. But the warm-up and cool down has never been a part of my routine. And that is something that we're gonna start introducing. Every other day is going to consist of some sort of PT work. I've shown my routine on some of my past videos, basically strengthening the hips and the glutes. Not extremely strenuous, but it's work for sure. Every single day is going to consist of stretching the hamstrings, the hip flexor, and the glutes and the quads. It takes 10-15 minutes and it feels fantastic. And as far as a warm-up goes, if you search up on YouTube the Myrtle routine, I basically do some sort of variation of that. I won't do the full Myrtle routine because it takes like 30 minutes, but I'll do 15 minutes activating the hip, activating the glutes, just sitting in the silence of my apartment first thing in the morning. I feel a little bit psycho, but I feel a lot better after the run because no pain. So now with all this warm up and cooling down that I've got to do, running already takes so much time out of the day, because just running that 9 miles at an 8:40 pace was an hour and 20 run, and then stack on 30 minutes of warming up and cooling down. It's a 2-hour workout right there. So this prep is going to be the fastest I've ever ran, and it's also going to be the most disciplined I'll ever have to be with my time, my workouts, my diet, my recovery. It's going to be a huge challenge, but I've laid the groundwork. I've laid out the blueprint, and now all I got to do is one foot in front of the other. Hopefully we make it to the finish line in 2 hours, 59 minutes and 59 seconds. A lot more content next 20 weeks of this prep and what it looks like. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching another one. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you in the next vid. That was so cringe. See you in the next video.